Hello, this is Alessandrina with Dexter and Alessandrina. And today I wanted to talk about how the process of wanting to be perfect, of perfection, that is modeled in society prevents us from being connected to ourselves and to others and loving ourselves and others. So there's this idea in the world that we can be perfect, that there's a way that we could be continuously doing things perfectly in a way that would render us unabandonable by others, because we have subconscious fears of abandonment. So we then create this persona, this identity of someone who supposedly would never be abandoned by anyone. And then we try to live by those standards, those beliefs, those expectations that we've created in order to feel unabandonable. And it's not pleasant. It doesn't feel good. It's stressful. It closes our hearts. It doesn't allow us to be present and grounded and experiencing and feeling creative energy as a result of that, and fulfillment. So it really disconnects us from the source of joy in life, the source of really being in a state of happiness and appreciation and receiving. So when we're trying to be perfect because we're not facing our fear of being abandoned, so we try to be perfect rather than learn through life how to refine our process of interaction with others, of creation, of bringing things into manifestation. When we're not focused in that way, on that process, on that creative process, and being present to ourselves and refining our lives as it happens, we're in a process of projection and expectation, and it's very painful and it's very isolating, and it creates separation internally within ourselves, with parts of us that don't feel perfect and that we judge and reject and don't want to look at and punish. And then also with others, we feel separate from others, and we essentially create this image, and we interact with others through this image, through our identity, rather than being real and being present with whoever we're interacting with. So this pursuit of perfection and the illusion of it, because it doesn't exist. There's no persona or identity that you can create that will mean that you'll never be abandoned, that will satisfy everyone, will meet their expectations, that will operate within their belief system. It can't happen. It's like the hopeless, helpless situation or journey or venture that we really want to be aware of, that it's not attainable, so that we don't have to go through a process of trying to create an identity that is not abandonable, and then go through different processes, different iterations of it not working, and the disappointment of that, and the judgment of that, and the self-abandonment of that, and just simply not enjoying life, right? So if we live through the expectation of being perfect, then we can't truly enjoy life. We're constantly pressured. We're constantly limiting ourselves in our experience of self, of others, of reality, and we can't be vulnerable and open to other people when we're in that state, because we're so tied and bound by this self-image, by this identity, by this persona, that it's not safe to just be ourselves, and to therefore to simply love somebody else, to simply care for them, to see them, because we're experiencing them through that persona and wanting to keep that persona safe. And so the persona is essentially the focus. It's the core focus. It's not the other person and being present to them. It's really just our persona, our identity, our self-image, and being more present to that self-image just so that we don't feel abandoned. We don't feel the pain of abandonment. And so that is greatly limiting our experiences and the quality of those experiences. When we are focused in that way on the self-image, we're not present. We're not grounded in our body. We're not vulnerable, open, aware in the field. We're really just like internally focused, and we're holding the past in place instead of inviting the present and the future to come into our space, right? Becoming it and inviting it and being with it, meaning the refinement of life, the refinement of self, being invited instead of the constant repetition through the process of perfectionism of our judgments and our expectations, and being cycling through that. Oh, I have this expectation, or I'm not meeting that expectation, I'm going to judge myself, and over and over and over again, continuously cycling through those cycles of judgment, expectations and judgment, and disappointment in self and punishment of self. So if you break that addiction to perfectionism, to being perfect, and to the self-image, you allow yourself to be present to yourself, to be loving to yourself. You forgive yourself for everything that you don't know, and forever, now and forward. And you can really begin to experience yourself in the present moment more connected to yourself, and therefore more fulfilled, more intentional, more creative, and also more connected to others, which also brings about this support system, really feeling one with others and feeling nourished and nurtured by their love, just like you're nurturing and nourishing them through your love, through your presence. And so the more of us do that and really let go of perfectionism and that tendency and that cycle of expectation, judgment, punishment, that is part of the perfectionism. When we let go of that, we have the capacity to create a really more enjoyable and beneficial quality of experience and life and reality for all beings. Because what we model and what we embody becomes available for everybody to also access and embody and resonate with, and it's essentially eventually shift into. So we're all doing that, and we're all helping each other do that. I hope this was helpful. Sending you lots of love.